you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Um, first of all, I want to say for allowing me to interview with you.
Yeah,
I
of
know,
course.
I know you're probably the most likely person right now, so I really do appreciate it.
Of course.
Um, how are you doing during this whole pandemic thing right now?
I've been good. Just trying to stay as busy as possible. Um, with a lot of these situations in which we don't have too much control over it. That's all I really can do right now. And it's a day by day thing where we're getting updated, getting told what's going on. Just kind of have to roll with the punches right now.
Right. I want to know how are you during this pandemic, because I know the workouts are probably limited certain things, and gyms are closed. I want to know how shape during this.
Just getting outside a lot. I mean, doing a lot of running workouts, sprints, jump roping, swimming, like doing anything really, just making sure that I'm staying out, staying active. For the most part, though, it's just been in California. A lot of things were closed, so I was running a lot, whether it be around the neighborhood, on going biking, things like that. Um, but that was pretty much my main way of staying in shape.
Right. Um, as we know, there might not be a season,
Mhm.
but at minimum, if there is a season, there won't be any. So I want to get your initial. Uh, what will it be like, in your opinion, if playing basketball without fans?
Um, Not as fun, I don't think. That kind of the energy that we get from the fans is definitely a big factor in the enjoyment level for each of us. But I think as of right now, my biggest concern is just making sure that everybody's staying safe during this time. So if we don't have one, then I understand. I'm not going to argue with it or anything like that. It's just I have family of my own. Like I have grandparents. You know what I mean. I don't ever think that playing basketball or whatever sport it is worth the risk if that means that other people are getting exposed to this virus. So
Yeah, I agree. Um, so you was a basketball player, play at the same level, I would say, I suppose, or with the first being the WNBA. But you know, who is your role model, as far as getting into basketball?
that's tough. At first, I actually didn't really have one. I just liked playing because it was fun. After a while, though, it was definitely Maya Moore. For on the women's side, it was always Maya Moore. On the men's side, it was definitely LeBron when I was younger, just because I liked how he dominated the game. Um, and he was good at everything he did. It wasn't like he was a one-dimensional player. So I kind of looked at both of them, and to me, they're both the same in that aspect in terms of being versatile, being able to do multiple things. So I really I love that about them, and that's kind of how I try to like take my game into that next level as well.
Yeah, Maya Moore was the first female basketball player besides Candace Parker. So
Yeah.
that's a good one. Um, I want to talk about your time at Archbishop Liddy, which is, of course, your high. Um, you okay? So I'm going on accolades I wrote down for you individually, and the it says now you have more than over rebounds and assists. You were a three-time All-Conference player, and in your senior year, you guys were 29-1, while
Mm-hmm.
one ranked in the nation. And for your years playing, you went 80
Yeah.
and two championships during your senior season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for a person who didn't win much playing sports, that's kind of like mind blowing
Mm-hmm.
for me. But and what did your time at Archbishop help you prepare for college basketball?
I would say I would give all the credit where it's due to my high school coach, Coach Phillips. That's my mentor now to this day. But I definitely believe that her preparation, not only in basketball, but in terms of making sure that we're all being held responsible um, and accountable for all of our actions, just in becoming young women and a woman now, um, has definitely helped me a lot with the transition to getting into college and playing here. A lot of which is the things that she did um, is exactly what we do in college, whether it be drills, how we're supposed to maintain eye contact with coaches, speaking, overly communicating, things like that. I definitely think that she's helped a lot and paved the way in doing that for me. Obviously, we did win a lot in high school. My senior year was the best, I would say, just because I know we won. We were nationally ranked #1 in the country that whole year. Well, not the whole year, actually. We weren't supposed to be that good, but we played really well. But I just think my whole time being there has definitely helped form me into the woman that I am today, and I have Coach Phillips to thank for that.
Right. So, you graduate. You are, I think, I think it said you were the 14th through point guard coming. Um, originally to Penn State. Uh, if you can remember, I would like to ask, what was the original thought behind committing to Penn State?
For me, Penn State was one of the first schools that offered me out of high school when I was really, really young. So it was a certain loyalty that I'm big on loyalty myself as a person, whether it's friendships, any kind of relationship that I have with anybody. So the fact that Penn State was one of the first schools to offer me at such a young age, um, to me, it showed that they really believed in me and they kind of saw the potential in me while I was younger. So that relationship that I had with them, that I continue to grow throughout high school with them, um, made it a lot easier for me to commit there. And then my visit went really well. I was really, really close with all the team there. But I do understand it is a little bit different in seeing, um, like I was getting a lot of questions straight out of high school saying like, why Penn State when I had other top 10 schools in the country recruiting me, offering me. But it was, the coaches I was very close with. It was a family environment, and I definitely rocked out with them to the end. So that was my reasoning for going to Penn State.
Right, and played season as a later on.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to enter the transfer portal. I want you to talk about what was going through that whole process like of entering the transfer portal and what led you to committing to the University of Texas.
The transfer portal is actually pretty easy. Like it's not, you literally just sign a paper, they put your name in there, and then coaches are able to see your names in the portal and then reach out to you right away. So as soon as I put my name in the portal, it was fairly quickly, like within 30 minutes, there was coaches
Oh,
texting me kind of thing, trying to call me right away, trying to set up visits. So that in regards to the transfer portal, I think it was a great idea that they made that. So other than that, I don't think there's too much to talk about when it comes to the transfer portal. I don't really have any negative thoughts on it as of right now. But for me picking Texas, it was a little bit of a no-brainer. I had my 3 schools that I picked out of all the schools that had offered me again were South Carolina, Texas, and Cal. For me, I kind of had to rank them a little bit. So basketball wise, South Carolina was the best, but they weren't necessarily the best school wise. They were actually the worst school wise. School wise, Texas was in the middle, and so was basketball. Like basketball wise, they were both like right in the middle with one another. Cal, basketball wise, was not the best. They were the worst, but school wise, that was top notch. Like if I got a degree from Cal, then it was going to be a good thing. So for me, it was like, okay, I wanted the best of both worlds because both still matter to me. And I'm all in with basketball, obviously, but I know that I'm going to stop playing at some point. Um, and for me, it's always been a goal to actually retire and possibly just be living in Texas after basketball. And I have family um, in Texas as well. So it was a little bit of a no-brainer for me to commit here, and then as well as the coaches here. Before we have new coaches now, but Coach Karen and Coach Jamie, they both had reached out to me. Well, they wanted to the end of my junior year, going into my senior year of high school, and at that point, I had already narrowed down my list of who I was going to visit school-wise, and I was very committed to them, so they understood it, and they kind of just like backed out kind of thing, and that was fine with me because they understood where I was coming from. But not only that, I knew that Karen, the head coach, had a lot of faith in me, being that she was one of the people to advocate for me to make the U18 trials for USA U18 trials, which is like, it's closed. You can't just come. It was invites only. So being that she did that, it was definitely like, okay, I know she rocks with me. And I knew I had a little bit of a relationship with her before because of that. So for me, it was a little bit of a no-brainer.
All right. Well, for me being a South Carolina resident, I'm kind of heartbroken that you didn't pick South Carolina. It's whatever. Now, I wanna ask, what advice you give to any female basketball hooper that has dream of playing at the college level? What would your advice to them be?
That's a good one. How young are we talking? Are we talking about like young? Or are we talking about high school, or like what
Hey,
are we talking about?
I would say high school, like
High
first.
school? Okay. Um, find your passion. I would say find a passion outside of basketball as well. If you love basketball, stick with it, but also don't get too caught up in basketball. Like, you cannot be one dimensional. Um, and I know it's hard, especially during this time, for a lot of athletes in general, and trying to figure out who they are outside of their sport. So that's probably my one piece of advice: is make sure that you know who you are as a person. If you cannot play this sport anymore, um, it's taken from you for whatever reason that may be, then I would say understand that you have a lot of other things, and your worth does not come from the sport that you play.
All right, that's great. Um, I wanna ask, what are some of your personal goals heading into this upcoming season?
Mm-hmm.
What is your personal goals going into?
Yeah, being that we do have a season and we do have a championship, obviously we'll win a natty. That's my first one. For me, I don't necessarily set personal goals for myself, because I know that comes with winning, that comes with being a good teammate, that comes with doing what I need to do when it comes like on the court. So when I myself am able to help my team put ourselves in a position to where we are performing at a level to win a national championship, I know that those accolades and other things are going to come with that. So for me, I always have one goal every single season, and that's to win the national championship.
Right. Um, this is just I wrote down 10 questions, so
Mm-hmm.
this is just a off question. But I wanted to know, what was your that you got to visit so far?
My favorite school
Favorite place, like
to visit for just in general, or basketball?
in general?
Favorite place I visited was probably Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is my favorite, but I like being in the sun. I like the beach. I love all of that. That's my favorite. And I'm half Mexican, so being out there, I felt pretty comfortable just because they're also Spanish speaking as well. So it's a home away from home. It was good.
Uh, well, that's all the questions I have. I want to thank you for joining Karisma. Um, like, like I said when we first I know probably a little busy right now, so I appreciate you being able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're coming from the tribe side of the family, why don't you follow the talented and beautiful and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be there sometime soon. And once again, thank
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
you. Gonna be signing.